of the Raid Shadow Legends saga. Alright, so once again, same thing as always. We're only using green shards, and I think I just got a champion between the last videos, and actually in the last video I got him. I just didn't bring him up. So this is Broadmoor. I love him. So essentially, the way to get him, and he is an epic, all right, and he is void, so he will help you out a lot with quests. So how do we get him? In the portal, you come over here to fusions. Okay, this fusion, don't care. This fusion, you're gonna start kind of picking these heroes up as you go. These are farmable heroes. All of these, it'll tell you where to get them, which stage. All of these are farmable. The only one out of all these that are not farmable is this one, and that's because you have to farm the 4 heroes here to get this one. As you can see, I already have him for the 3-star. I do have him, but I will probably be farming another because I like him and I use him. This one I have already, so really she's the main one that I have to pick up to get Relic Keeper, but you're not going to have to do that for a while. You will have to fuse this champion as a quest. So basically save extras of all of these heroes and just get them up to 30, and you can add the Ascensions and then just throw them in your vault until that quest comes up, and then you'll be at the point that I'm at, which is where you'll save these 4 heroes and put them in your vault until you have to fuse Relic Keeper. This is Broadmoor. He's a little harder to fuse, and to be honest, because I know the game a little bit better than some people who are starting might, this was a little easier for me. These two you have to fuse by using all these uncommons. These are easy to get. You should get them just from pulling, you'll get them from running the levels. Just throw them in your vault, and when you have no other heroes to level and you're running out of shards, just start leveling them. You can ascend them easily, they don't take a lot of potions, and that will get you the Arbalester, and that will get you the Rock Beast. Now, these two are a little bit different. These you got to go to tag team, which I'll review them a little bit later. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys an idea of the fusions right before we get into clan boss. So this guy is awesome. He's got a speed boost. He can revive heroes and put a block damage debuff on them. I mean, block damage buff on them when they come up. So that's awesome. Basically, you get revived and then no one can kill you until your turn again. He puts an increased crit, increased speed buff, and increases the turn meter. So that's just one step higher than some of the other speed boosters that we've shown so far. And he attacks one enemy, which surprisingly enough, I actually just used him in a couple runs to level him a few times. It's really freaking strong. I don't know his multipliers, but they're probably pretty high. So that's him, and so far I've been having a great time with using him. I just threw him in some kind of, garbage gear for now. I'll probably eventually just speed boost him out, but I put the shields on him for now. Alright, so now that we've shown him and how fusions work, because that's kind of cool, and it'll give us a little more to talk about, we're going to do what this video is about. Clan bosses. Alright, what is a clan boss? This is a clan boss. Now, when you do clan boss, there's a few things you need to understand about how this works. Alright? So, essentially what you have to do is you have to kill this thing with your clan. Now, the HP below the bar is how much health they have for you to kill it. So if everybody attacks it and that bar does not end, let's just say that bar gets to 1 million and you guys finish and the timer above here runs out. What happens? Basically, if you did over 1,142 damage, you get a box that has some of this stuff in it. Okay? Now, if you get this to 0, so 0, the bar will turn green, sorry, not green, purple. What does that do? You now get 2 of these chests with these things in it. So essentially the point here is that if you can't kill the boss, you might want to kill the one before it. So easy is easy. I mean not that easy, especially if you're brand new. You might be doing like, anywhere from 100 to 200,000 damage the first time you fight it with a full team. So Yeah, not too much. As you can see, these guys are doing a little bit more. Um, the thing with the clan bosses is you're looking for a couple of things with the champions that you're going to be using to do this. All right. The good news is that all the champions that we have built up until this point, which is why I had everyone build the ones that I was building, is that they all work for clan boss. All right. So you have a drop defense in War Maiden. You have a poisoner in Kale and a damage dealer. You have a healer and a shielder in Valerie. You have an attack boost on Spirit Host, and you have a speed booster and a little bit of heals on Apothecary, or you can use Diabolist. Now, also, because I got Broadmaw, I can eventually work him into my clan boss if I want. He is extremely good for this. And he revives, and he does everything that the other speed boosters do. So I could work him into it, but he's obviously, like I said, he's down the road. So if it took me a month to get him, so that's a long time just to get one hero, but he was worth it. And then the only thing that we're really missing here in Clan Boss is an attack down, which I do have this guy, Grappler, who's really good. I poisoned him out because he's got a lot of poison skills. And he's got a shield, and he's got to reflect damage. So he's a really good person for Clan Boss. Lambert, not so much. Anything has poison, HP burn, these are all good. The other thing that you want is in the masteries, which this isn't going to come into play until you start getting your 60s. But War Master, this is the clan boss. I mean, I didn't even realize it until a couple days ago, to be honest. This is the best thing ever. All right. War Maiden will hit for about 23,000 damage with an extra 10,000 damage, and then immediately do 70k damage because of War Master. All right. Great for clan boss. So for our fight today, we're going to be using War Maiden. We're going to be using the same ones: Kale, Valerie, Spirit Host, and Apothecary. Okay. Now, in the beginning, like I said, you're not going to do as much, but the good news is that once you start building this team, we'll do easy. And there are affinities, as you can see on here. So this is a red affinity, so we're going to do less damage than normal. All right, because we don't have a team that's set up for affinity. I have Spirit Host set up as our lead because I want speed. In the beginning, you probably want to have Kale just because it's more HP, or if you want a defense hero to do this, that's fine too. I'm doing speed because it just works out better for me and I do more damage. I'd rather do more damage faster than last longer at this point, unless you have a quest that requires you to last 20 rounds, which I think so far at this point, I last 20 rounds regardless. So now we're going to start on auto. There's not going to be any setup or anything like that for this. This isn't one of those videos where I have to do a whole bunch of setups. This is literally a beginning team for Clan Boss. And you'll start off by doing, a couple 100,000 damage probably. With Kale in the beginning, if you got him to 40 or 50 by the time you start doing Clan Boss, you'll probably be able to, pull out anywhere between 3 and 600,000 damage per run if you built Kale up. If you didn't build him up and you're using one of the other starting champions, yeah, you might have some problems. I've had teams that literally did 100 to 120,000 damage on this thing and died in a few rounds. So now, as you can see, all the same stuff from before in the last videos. You are dropping defense, see, 70,000 damage as a War Master hit. Amazing. He's going to poison. Those poisons will be doing about between 15 and 30,000 damage, depending on what buffs are up or down, per tick every round that they appear. Say 20 and 10. So all the low-level poisons are giving 10,000 damage. All the high-level poisons are doing 20,000 damage. That 70,000 damage is War Master. And essentially, we're going to get War Master on all 4 of these champions that aren't Kale. All right. Kale's more important for the arena, so we keep him with a different mastery at the end. But eventually, all of my heroes will be hitting that War Master proc. And in that case, that's when our damage is really going to shine. And we'll start being able to move probably into Brutal at that point. I also will have to start farming some better gear, which will also help us move into Brutal and eventually into Nightmare. So Right now, I do easy one time for my clan because I could do a decent amount of damage to get that number down so that we can actually win the easy mode. And then I'll move into hard mode and just do whatever damage I can. And if they don't beat easy for some reason, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Um, with my extra key at the end of the day or at the end of the night, sometimes if I'm awake when that happens, I'll just run that last fight, and then we'll get the two boxes. So like I said, we're not talking crazy damage here. I mean, I'm sure you've seen videos where, you know, you've seen, millions and millions, like 50 million damage on a boss, on a clan boss. This isn't that team, and this is literally just to get you running. When we don't have the red affinity, and we're up against a team that's a normal affinity, I will usually run somewhere between 5.5 to 6 million at the point that I'm at now. So I can one key easy, very easily, obviously. In the beginning, you probably will have to use 2 keys to do that, possibly even 3 if your team's not up to par, or if you're just using heroes that aren't built correctly. A lot of the times, it's just the build that causes you to not get these damage numbers. It's not really the heroes themselves. But so far, we're doing pretty good. I usually will last till around 20. The healing and protection, I still have to book out Valerie. So once I book her out and get her masteries up, she's going to be doing those shields and heals a lot more often. She's going to be using her buffs more often, and she'll last longer, so that's good. So you got to look at it as a progression. As long as your damage is going up, then you're doing the right thing. And this is a perfect team for that. Literally every single one of these heroes is useful in everything. I mean, so far, pretty much all the videos that we've done have been surrounded around these 5 heroes. And it's literally the only ones you need to enjoy the game. Up until you start getting into, a little more crazy stuff, but like the Hydra, like my team gets decimated in Hydra. It's kind of ridiculous. And as you can see, usually what you'll do is you'll turn this on and go get a coffee. You can go walk the dog. You can build a sandcastle, pretty much whatever you want to do while this goes on. I very rarely will actually sit here and watch the clan boss get beat. But since we're not doing an unkillable comp that lasts like hours and hours and hours, I figured it doesn't matter if we watch the whole thing. It's like 5 minutes. So we're getting to 16. Eventually, everyone will be dead, but Kale and more than likely Spirit Host. Yep. Oh, he got Kale. That's because we're against the wrong affinity. So there we go. 5 million against the wrong affinity. And that's not bad. So as you can see, Kale did most of the work. And then War Maiden, as you can see, did the most work. Look at that, 3 million. So that's because of War Master. If I had Kale in War Master, he'd be obliterating that as well. And later on down the road, once you have a better poisoner or a better lead attacker, you could switch Kale out for that hero and put War Master, or you can just have War Master on Kale. It's up to you. I do not do that right now, and I probably won't switch him from where I have him at this point. I can't wait to see I'm going to have Spirit Host at 6-star pretty soon, because I have a ton of energy, and I already have the 4-star champions level to 40 to build her to 6-star. Now I just got to get them all to 5. So I'm pretty close to it. I did the hard part. So that's that. Now let's see. So that was on easy. So as you can see, we did 5.14 million damage, which is pretty high. Got a pretty good teams going on here. Smurfs, what did they do? 4 million. So they did about 2 million each. But this is kind of like your progression, you see? So they did 1 million. If that's the case, honestly, this is really good. 1 million is great because you're just at that threshold. You really just want to be getting this to 1 key when you first start. But 2, 3 keys in the beginning, it's not unreasonable and not surprising. I mean, your heroes might die in the first few rounds. Now, normal mode. That's right. I forgot we're not even in hard. We're in normal now. So normal, I must have messed that up. So you get normal, hard, brutal, nightmare, ultra nightmare. All right. So let's try out some normal. Nobody did normal yet. So same team. This time we're against a regular affinity. Now you're gonna die quicker as the difficulties progress. So yeah. So this fight shouldn't last anywhere near as long as the other one did. I mean, it might be about the same. We're not the difficulty spike isn't. It's not ridiculous. I mean, it usually is about a million damage. I think usually about a million damage difference. But we're actually at an affinity that we can do some damage to. We'll see. But those War Master procs are really nice. So essentially, when you're building your team, what do you want? You want attack down, defense down. Those are the important stats because it makes him take more damage and do less damage. Because those hits just keep getting stronger every single round. So you want to get that down as fast as possible. You want someone to keep you surviving. That's important. You want somebody who is going to be able to boost your speed, your team, your buffs. Any of those things are good. Shields are always good. And then poison, HP burn, anything that does damage to the boss. Bombs sometimes can be good. There's a few characters that bombs will go off and they'll actually set off their bombs early. So those heroes are always good in here too. And this isn't for people who are setting up unkillable comps. If you have an unkillable comp, then you're probably way more advanced in your lessons than what we're doing right here. Right? This is literally just the base idea of what you need to do to make sure that you can get the rewards from the clan boss and maximize your rewards. I can't wait to get all these heroes to 60. I really want to see what this like low end team is really capable of doing. I mean, at this point, I think my damage increased about somewhere between 1 and 2 million, to be honest, just from War Maiden getting to 6-star with her mastery. So I have a feeling that we don't even have, I don't have banners on any of these guys. I've got, I think, mostly rings and amulets on everybody except for Spirit Host. I think I only have a ring on her because I haven't gotten another amulet yet. That'll probably be a whole nother separate video. We'll do some spider farming so that you can kind of get the idea of what you need for each dungeon. Every dungeon is going to be different. Most of the teams basically stay the same for every dungeon. There's just going to be a little adjustment. I mean, you could probably beat every dungeon with this team until you get into the higher levels. Luckily, we're not looking to beat anything above 13 right now. So it looks like this is actually going okay, I think. Anytime no one's dead, see? Spoke too soon. Anytime no one's dead, it's a good thing, but now I have Broadmaw, so maybe I can switch him out and he can do some reviving. I would probably build him with a lot of defense, just so that he can always be the last one surviving. Yeah, it's about right. Figured about a million damage less is usually what you do. Oh, he just survived. Oh, no, he didn't. And there you go, 4.7. So that is your clan boss. All right. Hydra, you won't get into until you're higher level. I don't have any keys to really show you, but as you can see, I did 144k damage with 3 teams, so it's a little different, I think. I'm not really thinking that I'm going to be doing much with them for a while. So that's the clan bosses, and like I said, you want to make sure you get those rewards. Very important. As soon as you start getting into hard mode, you're going to see a lot. The rewards are going to get a lot better. And then into Nightmare is when you start really seeing some better stuff. All right, you're going to start seeing Shaker Shards. You're going to start seeing a lot more things. And eventually the goal here is to get here where you can get all those things. But at this point, we're talking about the beginning, and I think that this is a pretty good team to get you started until you start pulling better heroes or whatever it is you want to do. and we'll find out over the next few weeks how far I can get on this and how much damage we can do with this team, especially against the right affinity. All right, so that's the clan boss. Please make sure you join a clan. You can quit clans and join them. Just hit this little thing at the top. You can click the settings and leave your clan if you have an inactive clan. It's always good to be in one that has a lot of people that play. Okay, so that's clan bosses, and I think next time, oh, we're getting more stuff. I think next time we may move into some of the dungeon stuff. Start showing you some of the keeps, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so thanks for watching. All right.